Welcome back to World Crafting. I'm Ezekiel, and this is DJ.
Hello.
We got a crazy idea.
Yes, well, it's not that crazy. But it's a continuation of the episode that we did a week or so
A
ago, two
musical
weeks
one?
ago, something like that.
It's exactly what
Nope,
I thought
nope,
you
nope,
were gonna say.
no, 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 no. We're doing a sequel to Shattered Soul
Is
or
that is that
Soul Shards.
is that what the people
I
want?
haven't, we haven't we haven't decided on a name yet. So, um, is that what the people want? I don't know. I sure hope it's what they want because it's what they're getting.
It's one of the, that's what this is gonna. Maybe we can make Shattered Soul. You know how like in every like series that goes on for a really long time, there's always like one musical part, like one musical episode.
Yeah.
We could throw it in there in between the villages
Yeah.
burning and
Yeah.
people suffering. Like, just imagine Game
I
of
don't think
Thrones,
that's
but
what
a
the people
musical.
want.
I
I don't want to imagine that.
I think they want Game of Thrones, but a musical.
I don't think anybody wants Game of Thrones the musical.
All right, fine. We'll do Shattered Soul Part 2. I'm actually
What, you want
secretly
to talk
excited.
about Wolfgang von Heisenheim
No,
some more?
never again.
He got all his instruments back and now he is going away.
Yeah, that one's buttoned up tight, but the one that we got left with a bunch of holes is definitely the Shattered Soul. So, so you have this like there's so much. Like we have the
So,
beginning, we have the end, but we have no middle per se. Like a bunch of like scattered crumbs. So I'm guessing we're gonna try to pull this together and make it a much more intriguing, in-depth story.
yes.
Because
So, go ahead.
I was gonna say previously for the listeners out there, Shattered Soul is where you can put your soul into a shard of the caretaker, which was an ancient um which was actually just an ordinary person that helped people. And
Hmm.
did he have like magical powers, more like a wizard esque person, or just a magical being that
Maybe a little bit, but not really. It's kind of unclear the extent of his magic versus just the extent of his caring. Um,
so
so basically, just to do, last time on Soul Shards or Shattered Soul.
last time on Shattered
So
Soul. Do you want to do it?
the caretaker, the caretaker was taking care of his city. Everyone loved him, but as his city grew and grew, he became more and more of a celebrity, which is not what he wanted because it stopped him from helping people so much from his love for the people, and it started making him help people, which he did not want. So one day he decided he was going to stay home and he was going to refuse the summons he received. And then a mob came to his little hut in the middle of the big city, and they demanded he would help those, and he did not. And through their coercing, his soul got shattered, and it exploded into hundreds or thousands or tens of thousands of pieces and spread it all across the land, granting different powers to different things. And yes, so that's the sort of review of the origin story. And Ezekiel, you can go ahead and tell us all about the protagonist.
All right, the protagonist finds himself a shard. The shards can do a number of things. One of the things that the shards can do is if you possess one, they immediately make you successful at any endeavor that you do. They basically help you carrying on the purpose of basically the caretaker or the helper. And they help you do that. Another
And
thing that they can do
the
is,
way it,
can't they like turn
the
into an
way it
animal?
kind of works, hang on just a second. The way it kind of works is So if there are two people doing something and they're in competition with each other and they both have a shard, then it's just they kind of just
Cancel each other
zero
out.
each other out. Yeah. Anyway, continue on.
And so a shard can take on the an image of an animal or of we actually haven't got into that. Basically the protagonist has like a phoenix, not a phoenix, like a griffin that is one of the shards. And then the other thing a shard can do, and they don't stack, by the way. So if you have two shards, it doesn't make you twice as good at something. Um, so if you have two shards, you can take the second shard and you can put a piece of your soul into it, meaning that when you die, you reform, like your body reforms where the shard is, and the shard does not break. Like you can continuously do this until the shard is broken. And so that results in a bunch of people that have lived for thousands of years, including our protagonist. And there's a lot of these god kings and god queens that have lived in the land for thousands of years and have collected shards and have basically become these tyrants.
Yes, exactly. So in the first season, it follows the protagonist, and he is going across the land finding shards because he wants to destroy all the shards because of the prophecy or whatever. Somehow or other, he knows that he needs to destroy all the shards in order to restore peace and prosperity to the kingdom, instead of just to those few that have the shards. So he's looking for all the shards, including the ones that the kings and queens have that have lived for thousands of years, and he just shatters them, or destroys them rather, and they instantly go back to they instantly disappear. Anyway, okay, so he's doing that. He beats a bunch of kings, bunch of queens, destroys a bunch of shards in season 1. To learn all about the land, all about the way the shards work, everything like that.
Just go listen to the other episode. If you're
so
we'll get into this now.
The way I don't know how you feel about the shards, but I'm still kind of not settled on how I think they should work entirely. I really like the animal thing and the soul copying thing, and the not stacking thing, but I think you should be able to. I think they should be able to stack souls or stack shards in their animals, which we talked about last week or whenever that was. Kind of like it upgrades the animal. Like for him, he didn't always have a griffin. He had I don't remember where it started. Maybe it started out as a lion or something, and then he upgraded it to a winged lion, and then a griffin, and then a fire-breathing griffin. And so you can stack them that way, but your success doesn't really stack. I was also thinking you could probably get multiple animals. I was thinking that there'd be this king or queen or ruler of some kind. And he would have a pack of white wolves. Or maybe they'd be, I don't know. I'm thinking it's like a
Are the animals
northern kingdom.
The shard animals sentient?
What do you mean by sentient? Like alive?
Can they speak? Can they communicate? Do they have intelligent thought?
I've always thought of them as kind of like the dragons from How to Train Your Dragon.
A level of sentience.
They're just basically the only difference is they don't speak human languages. If that makes sense.
Can they speak inside the shard owner's head?
I hadn't thought about that. We can make it so they can. Or maybe not speak, but just like the shard owner can understand what the animal is saying.
Like feeling, maybe.
Like,
Maybe not like
yeah, something like that. Not so much that the animal is speaking, more just that the owner can understand the language, the shard language, or something like that.
So the protagonist,
Yeah.
he walks up to these gates. No guards. No sentries. And the gates kind of open on their own. And there on his haunches is a massive white wolf.
Exactly.
White wolf
Exactly.
turns around and scampers towards the castle gates. Still, no people. No caretakers, no gardeners, no maids. And all he sees as he walks more and more of these white wolves. All of them. I mean, just like no people, just like a ton of white wolves, just kind of watching him as he walks up to the gates to enter the castle. And there, sitting on the throne, is a ancient king or ancient queen. What were you thinking?
I didn't know one way. It doesn't matter one way or the other.
An ancient queen, old and frail, her skin wrinkled, which is a shame because if she would have found a shard in her younger days, she would have stayed young forever. Or you age when you have your soul is in a shard. Like, and you have to continuously basically, not to say kill yourself, but to kill yourself to maintain your youth.
No, I think it just keeps,
You stay the age.
well, we can do it however we want, but I was thinking it would, like, you could respawn however, whatever age you wanted, but you couldn't, like, you wouldn't stay young. You would age normally until you died, and then you could be like, oh, I'm going to come back at 25 or whatever. Or we could just do it. You come back. No, that makes sense. If you just come back how your body was when you saved your soul or whatever. Yeah.
So an old, frail woman, flanked on either side by two white wolves, stares at the protagonist. The protagonist's goal has always been, like it was in season 1, is to return the shards to the caretaker's empty corpse. The corpse is like a puzzle, like a 3D puzzle that's just left there with grayed out spots for every shard's location, unique to every shard. And so he wants to find them all.
Which, pause on that just a second. So every shard is technically different. So theoretically speaking, they wouldn't all do the same thing, and they wouldn't all have the same power set. So maybe one shard is big enough that you have the ability to pick how you come back, where you come back, when you come back. Maybe some shards have the ability to make it so you never age. And maybe other shards just make it so you just come back the way you were when you saved your soul, or you saved your consciousness, or whatever, however you want to say it.
That's like the normal shards that you find. Do it that.
Yeah,
but you
they'll be
find
like the small ones.
you find a unique shard or a large shard. You can
do more things with it. So that's why everyone is always looking for shards, because if you find a bigger one, you can swap it out with the ones you have. If someone finds a bigger one, or you can just add more animals to your, in this queen's case, pack of wolves.
Or as a shard hunter, you can sell it to the kings and queens.
Yes, and get lots and lots of money.
Shard hunters are the only people in the kingdom that are respected by all the kings and all the queens. They will hesitate to kill them, but they'll still kill them.
Yes. But they're kind of not respected among the common folk.
No.
It's kind of a dirty occupation, like a bounty hunter or something.
You're looking for shards, but so are other shard
An
hunters.
assassin.
The shard hunter is the most dangerous thing to a shard hunter is another shard hunter.
Yeah, because the shard hunter will stab another shard hunter in the back instantly.
Instantly.
That's why the protagonist always works alone, except for the people he finds along the way sometimes.
Sometimes. It happens.
I think of him as like a Jack Reacher type guy, where he just Jack Reacher kind of just goes around from city to city, and each book he's the only character that carries over, really.
Yeah.
As far as I know, anyway. And he never really stays in one place for too long. That's how I look at this protagonist guy. It's like then. So any friends he meets along the way or makes along the way, he won't keep for the next season or even the next episode, maybe. Anyway, continue with your wolves.
I mean, you're the one that have this. So the queen clearly is old and frail and can't do anything. But she sends all of her wolves to the protagonist. And the protagonist has to draw his sword and fight off all of these wolves. And instead of killing the wolf, the shard shatters within their body and breaks. Or maybe it when you kill the wolf, the shard returns to being a shard and just falls and clatters to the ground. Formless.
I don't like the idea that once you destroy a shard, it instantly goes back to the caretaker's body. I think he needs to bring them back.
And place them, each one in its proper place.
Or maybe not necessarily place them, but sort of bring them to the body and then they, get magneted into the proper place. Or he can put it together like a puzzle.
I like it.
Maybe that can be the
So as he
so go ahead.
I mean, since he's lived for thousands of years and he's perfected the art of sword fighting, basically. Being a master swordsman, he's slicing through wolves, and as they dematerialize back into their crystal, he swoops it, grabs it out of the air with his offhand before it can even hit the ground, and he adds it to his ever-growing pile of shards.
Yeah.
He has to fight all the wolves. How many wolves does he have to fight?
A lot. Well, 13.
13?
Yeah. 13.
How well does he fight them off?
With his sword.
Yeah, but does he get bit? Does he get pulled to the ground as a wolf tries to grab him around his neck?
I don't know. He probably would.
Not even.
Well, the wolves would probably.
Keep going.
They'd probably attack him. And the first few would be stupid, and they'd be like, we can take this guy, no problem. And they'd attack him one at a time, and so he'd quickly dispatch those ones. And so he would have fewer to deal with after that. It'd be like 2 or 3, maybe 4 of those ones. And then the rest would hold, and they would all attack him at the same time. So while he's fighting the one in front of him, the one behind him would fight his calf or something, and he'd fall to the ground, and he'd splice one down and then cut another one down as he gets bit in the back, and he'd swing his sword around to the back and get a third one. But then he'd probably get eaten, but then he'd just respawn somewhere else. And then Oh wait, I forgot about his griffin. So then his griffin would probably come in and save him before he got eaten. And then his griffin would take off a few wolves, and then while his protagonist is on the ground, he'd get back up as well as he could and finish off the few that were left. And he's picking up the last shard. His griffin lands next to him and gives him the shards the griffin got from the wolves it killed. And then he'll look up at the queen sitting in the throne with her eyes all glazed over and her long hair and wrinkled face. And he'd slowly walk up to her and put his sword to her heart. No, he wouldn't put his sword to her heart. He'd put his sword to her hand. And he would say, "Tell me where your shard is, or I'll cut your hand off," something like that. And she'd be like, "You fool, you cannot tell me. I will live on." And he says, "I know." And then he cuts her hand off. And he says,
Oh
something
my
like,
goodness.
"I can't kill you, but you still feel pain." And then she was screaming and screaming, and then he keeps torturing her until he...
Is the protagonist
That's a
the
bit...
bad guy? Is he the bad guy?
No, yes, no. He's not.
Is he the bad guy? Are there good guys?
He's not
No good guys?
necessarily.
We're going full Game of Thrones here? Just no good guys?
No. So here's how it works. What he's doing is good, and he's the good guy because he only does bad things to bad people. The real good guys are the people he meets along the way. Like in last episode, we were talking about that guy he saved from the guard. That guy's a good guy because he's only going to do good things, regardless of if it's to a bad person or not.
We got it. Because right now it's just you're just like this old lady that's completely helpless.
Yeah,
and you're just like she's helpless.
She's a tyrant.
But you gotta like show people that. You gotta go like you gotta say like you gotta be like
we weren't at that part. We were at the part where he was
chopping off her body part.
Kill her.
He's like cutting off her fingers and her hand.
I get the shard.
Your answer is yes. Like he's cutting off fingers, but you gotta establish that she is far worse of a person before you can get to that level.
Okay.
Like
so
if you read
walking up to her, he's listing off all the terrible things she's done.
No, you gotta let her say it.
Oh, so she's like, "I've burned down villages. I've had women and children murdered.
Mm-hmm.
I killed my own husband for the crown. You think you scare me, old..." Wait, he's not an old man.
Well, he is. He's over a couple thousand years old.
Yeah, but he doesn't look like an old man. No one would look at him and go, "Oh, that's an old guy." Unless you looked at his eyes. You can always tell in the eyes.
Old souls, man.
Yeah. Anyway, then she would be like, "You think you scare me, you young whippersnapper? If you kill me, I will only become more powerful.
Continue.
I will live on."
I didn't know we were going Star Wars here. Continue.
We always go Star Wars, don't you know?
Yeah, really. The bear traps might come out, but we'll get to those later.
Yeah, whenever they come out, you won't see it coming.
You won't see them coming. You won't. So she's listing off all the terrible things. She's like, "Do you wonder why there's nobody guarding the gates, nobody tending the castle? It's because I fed
because I had my wolves eat them."
Yeah. It's like, I love the sound of screams. Children's are the best. Like just the worst stuff. Like so if you ever read a Lee Child book, which is the guy that writes Jack Reacher, he makes his villains horrible, like villains, like makes them terrible. So the point when Jack Reacher gets a hold of that's right,
him at the end.
So if you ever want to know how to write a good villain, like one that you really want to just beat up and not feel bad about, you need to read a Lee Child book. and look how he writes his villains.
I'm really bad at that. I always accidentally humanize my villains, and it's terrible. I hate it. Anyway,
you got to make it
back
where
to the story.
it's like, I love the sound of children. He's like cutting off fingers and limbs,
Screaming.
and she's screaming, or she's not
Yes, I
screaming.
ordered my wolves to eat them slowly, so they'll scream for longer.
See, this is good. This makes you.
We are getting very dark.
Hey, if people are watching this, they're not watching it with their children. That was last week's episode.
It's definitely not. Yeah, last week's episode was a child's show. This is not a child's show.
When you craft worlds, you craft all kinds of worlds.
There needs to not be any unnecessary violence. I don't appreciate unnecessary violence.
No, this is definitely necessary.
I mean, not violence, gore.
Oh no! Like he chopped off her hand, and immediately the vein.
Yeah, but you don't have to
start squirting. No, it just like it shows. It's like the camera's like looking over the shoulder of the god queen to the protagonist, and all you see is like these streams of blood just go squirt, squirt, squirt. She's like bleeding out. That's all we need to do. Like, we don't have to show it. We just have to allude to it. Like, we have sound effects.
Just show the blood squirt.
Just show it.
Anyway, it's fine.
He reaches out, he like stabs her in the stomach, and then starts bringing the knife up towards her heart. Are we the bad people? We're bad. Are we bad people?
We're the bad guys.
Oh, glad
we were the bad guys the whole time.
Glad we established that. Okay, so does she tell the protagonist?
No, she doesn't tell him.
And he kills her.
But then she just respawns in the chair because that's where her shard is.
We gotta make
shard is in the chair.
No, we're trying to make like a political thriller.
What?
Right? Like political like intrigue. Because there's multiple god kings and queens living in this kingdom.
So then, okay, so here's what happens then, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Here's what's so she dies. She respawns somewhere else, and he's like, "Oh no!" But I still got 13 shards from the wolves, so he's kind of bummed out, but he's still happy. So then she respawns as a younger person, and she's respawns somewhere else, and she has this whole kingdom or whatever at her disposal. So she runs back to her castle, and she's like, "One of these other kings sent this guy to kill me," and so she doesn't realize that this guy is just a sophisticated shard hunter, and she thinks he was like an assassin. She thinks he was an assassin sent by one of the other kings to kill her, and so she starts trying to figure out which it was, and then she starts attacking the other kingdom. She says, "This is an act of war, and I will not stand for it."
Can I take a...
Yes, go for it. Take it away.
I'm going to kind of take...
Change it. Make it better.
But I'm going to take what you made, because I like it, and I'm going to just kind of adapt it slightly. So she dies, and she reforms next to a throne room in a different kingdom, in a different castle. And on this throne sits a king, and he looks over and he goes, it's like, "Dead, mother?" And she kind of coughs a little bit. And she goes, "Still never gotten used to the dying part." She looks down at her son, and she says,
She looks at her hand while she's saying that.
You couldn't wait long enough for me to die naturally? You had to send somebody to come and kill me?" And the son goes, "I sent no one." She's like, "Sure." She was like, "If it wasn't you, then who?" Either way, there is a crystal hunter with 13 crystals. No, there's a shard hunter with 13 shards. And he goes, "You could buy, it's like a small fortune. You could buy a kingdom with that many shards. Or you could buy your way into the royalty. Pretend this is like the caste system, and the only way to like move up the caste system is with shards. Like if you like give 5 shards to a king, they'll make you like a vassal or something. And so like there's a lot of these like cutthroat lords and ladies of the land that have all like killed people so they could obtain their status.
Yes.
And so now she wants to declare war on someone else.
I taught you a lot of things, but I never taught you how to lie. That's why you're so bad at it. So what happens to the kingdom? Does she split the kingdom? Does half of it follow him, half of it follow her?
Probably not. Probably
What happens?
she declares war on the kingdom. Definitely wants the Shard Hunter, the protagonist now. Definitely wants him dead, wants him found. In fact, she doesn't trust her son. Why she's in her kingdom, why she's in his kingdom, she has to play nice. But she's like investigating him and trying to find out what other king and queens might have done this. But she lets them know that there's so basically now the son's kingdom is basically after the protagonist now. Wants him dead. Wants all those shards. And he tells his entire lords and ladies about it. And they send their shard hunters after him.
So now there's a whole bunch of shard hunters hunting the shard hunter, the protagonist.
Right. Some of these shard hunters are old too.
Yeah. But he doesn't mind because he just kills them, takes their shards. No big deal.
He's older than all of the other shard hunters. He still remembers the caretaker.
But he gives them, yes, he does. He gives them a chance, which I have a note about that actually. But we can talk about that later. He gives the other shard hunters a chance to get away, to join him, to do something. They always refuse because they think they can defeat him, but he's the oldest, so he knows more than them. He's better at everything than them, and he just takes care of business, as they say.
Nice.
And then the king and the queen are like, we've sent so many shard hunters after him, and none of them have returned.
None of them have returned.
It makes you wonder, at what point do you just say it's not worth losing any more shards?
So they send
and then
the
his
army.
mother's like, you fool. It's always worth the shards. It's a shame you didn't get my ambition or something like that.
I don't know. I feel like he would look at her and go, "This is why you lost all your shards. This is why your king. This is why you." Or it's like, "This is why you lost your kingdom."
Yeah, that's good.
Because she's
like,
willing to risk it all. So she becomes like maybe like a vassal to her son's kingdom. Maybe we'll focus on that kingdom as he continuously tries to.
As the shard hunter gets closer and closer to the castle where the queen and the king are.
He's faced with an army.
So you can get
shard beasts.
What happened to the army?
No, Warpath, we're gonna get there. He's coming. Like,
okay,
he's still
sorry.
He's still coming for her. Like, he's still hunting her.
Uh-huh.
She still has a shard that he needs, and so through the grapevine, he finds out that she's still alive, and now she's in this kingdom, which now, like, the legend has returned. It's like the ancient queen of old has returned to her son's kingdom, and so he kind of extrapolates that it is the same person of this old fallen, the wolf hunter lady. And so
the wolf queen.
They get word that he's on his way because he's the shard hunter. He's trying to
protagonist.
He's the protagonist. He's trying to return the entire kingdom to the caretaker, and the caretaker will fix all of these terrible problems of all of these god kings and god queens that terrorize the villages.
Unite land.
He will unite the land. And so they amass an army in front of the castle because they don't know which way he's approaching from. but they know he wants into the castle. And in this army, you have shard beasts made up of maybe multiple shards, like maybe dragons. I've thought about shard dragons,
Mm-hmm. I like it.
shard monsters, maybe like giants. These giant like ogre type creatures made from shards,
I like it.
and the twisted imagination of some shard bearer.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
And they just stand in between him and the castle.
But little do they know, he can fly.
Wait,
Well, he can't fly. His griffin can fly.
so he can ride the griffin?
Yeah, he can ride the griffin. Why couldn't he ride the
This will set up a great like dragon versus griffin fight. Like
Yeah.
dragon riders and the griffin rider, the protagonist, and he's like leaping off the griffin and jump and falling onto a dragon with his sword out and like decapitates the shard bearer, and then he like runs and jumps and then takes his shard.
Not a shard bear. That's from something else. Shard wheeler?
Wielder. I think shard bearer is a coined phrase.
I don't think so either, but it made me think of that other thing. So anyway, carry on.
Carrying on. So yeah, you have this cool sequence of him jumping from dragon's back to griffin's back to dragon's back, like literally going to hand combat on top of flying creatures as they're like falling through the air, basically this like death spiral.
And the giants are picking up rocks and throwing them at the griffin to try to knock him out of the air because they can't fly.
And they hit like a dragon's wing and like it cracks and the dragon flies to the ground and cracks the ground and turns back into crystals.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then by the end of it, there's just all these soul shards on the ground. And the protagonist just scoops them up.
Oh, I mean, he'll have to come. There's,
Puts them in his bag.
Ground, the army's there, so he'll have to come back and get them. I assume he'll go into the castle, right?
Yeah. He'll go into the castle.
And then what happens?
Then he finds the king and queen and the wolf queen and her son. And he says,
does she have wolves again?
Maybe she has better wolves, bigger wolves. Maybe she has fire wolves now.
Giant fire wolves.
Ice wolves. And he's like, didn't we go through all of this already? And she says, yes, but last time I was an old woman and now I'm not. And then she pulls out a sword and they fight.
How long does the fight last?
And not very long because he's a lot better than her. But then, right as he's about to, I don't know, defeat her, kill her so he can find out where her shard is, her son steps in and he's a much better sword fighter, so it's a longer lasting fight. And the shard bearer gets wounded, and he's just when he's about to get killed by the king, the griffin saves him again.
The griffin just saves him again.
No. Oh, I had it. Okay. Just as the king's about to kill the protagonist, his mother stabs him. And he falls to the ground and he's like, what are you doing? And she's like, I'm tired of being under your foot. I want my kingdom back. And he's like, you fool. I have my own shard. I'll just come back. And she lifts up his shard. And she says,
goodness.
No, you won't. And she breaks his shard and then kills him. And then she turns to the protagonist, but he's gone. And she follows the trail of blood as the protagonist pulls himself away, limping from his wounds from fighting. Then what happens?
So let me get this straight. She just rescued him?
No, Not so here's the thing, okay? She wanted both of them dead, so she saw the perfect opportunity because the protagonist was essentially defeated and her son was not paying attention. So if she killed her son, then her son would be dead and the protagonist would be incapacitated. So then she could just kill the protagonist.
Okay.
That was her plan. But she spent too long small talking with her son just before he died, and the protagonist
Gets away.
escaped.
Escape. He's escaping. Okay.
Or at least he's escaping. So what do you think happens next?
The army's still there
Yes.
and wants him dead.
And then he goes out to the army and he says, "She just killed your king."
They yell, "You lie."
And he goes, "No, see for yourself."
Maybe.
And then the commander goes in and sees. And then the whole army goes in and they're getting attacked by her wolves and they're overwhelming her and she's putting up a fight. And while all that's happening, the protagonist is just out in the courtyard, just picking up all the shards, put them in his little bag.
Mm-hmm. Gathering shards up.
Yeah. Do you think, here's what I think should happen, but maybe not. I think that he just takes his shards and he's just like, gets on his griffin and flies away to heal his wounds. And he's like, "We will meet again, Wolf Queen, and I will have your shard."
She says, "I will be
And
ready."
he just kind of flies away.
Yeah. Just flies away.
Because he has, a whole bunch of shards now. He doesn't necessarily need hers right that moment.
He'll come back and get it.
If
He's lived this
he'll come
long.
back and get it eventually.
So he makes his way back to the caretaker's ancient house, broken down and dilapidated. He walks inside, and there's like the outline of the caretaker, the man to fix the world. That's what his dream is. And like you could see, like the outline is filled in, like starting at like the toes, just like a couple stones here and there, and he pulls out his bag of shards and pours them at the feet of the caretaker, and they slowly start to wiggle, and they fly into place. The nice little chime as each one finds its home.
Okay. I like it. I love it. And then he sits down and he starts thinking about something. And this is the flashes back, all right?
Flashback.
Flashback
Woo!
to a king sitting in a throne. And he has a problem. I don't know what the problem is, but he wants the caretaker to help him. And he says, "Send for the caretaker." And someone runs out and goes and sends for the caretaker and then comes back and says, "The caretaker is not taking care today." Sorry, that was terrible.
I like
It
it.
says, the caretaker he's not hanging out today. He's shut down. And the king goes, "This is nonsense. This is unacceptable. I will go see him myself." And so he goes to the caretaker's place, and there's a mob around his little hut. And the king pushes his way through the crowd because he's the king and he has his guards with him, and they make an opening for him. And he goes into the hut and he demands the caretaker to help him. And he says, "Caretaker, I demand that you help me." He lists off all these things and all the reasons why the caretaker should help him. And the caretaker says, "It's not the same when you have to help someone. When you see someone in need and you just help. It's a lot different than being forced to help. Something like that. And that's when it happens. And his soul explodes into shards. And one of the shards goes into the king's chest. And it makes him see things like clairvoyance.
Nice.
And so he knows things. And he sees the world he sees what the world will become without the caretaker's care. He sees the chaos that will ensue. And because of that, because of the death of the caretaker, he leaves his kingdom and he tries to die. But he can't. Every time he dies, he just comes back because of the shard in his chest.
In his chest.
Yes.
They can't even get it out. It's like it become part of him.
No. It's like it's part of him now. And the only way to get it out is to destroy it. But he doesn't know that. And then he sees a way out. He sees that if all the shards are brought back, then the caretaker will return, and peace will return to the kingdoms, to the whole land. And then
I just had an idea.
Find out that the protagonist is the king.
I thought the protagonist was a kid.
No, I changed it.
I thought he was a kid. Well, I had an idea just now. Yeah, so the king has a shard in his chest. The shard in his chest goes in kind of the core of the caretaker's body, but you can't put crystals in places, in slots, without the slots beneath them that are already filled. So the thought is,
you have to build it in an order.
He's the protagonist is looking for specific shards, and so like the reason he wants the wolf lady, the wolf queen's shards, is because her shard is now like a pivotal piece. Like he can't put any more shards
to the puzzle.
It's the next piece of the puzzle. Like he can't put that many. And so now if the protagonist is the ancient king, he can't put his chest shard in the body until, like, he can't even get there until the ones beneath it are made. Like his phoenix. Like he would have probably already sacrificed his phoenix to his goal if that shard was next.
Right. All right. To be honest, I like that. But to be honest, I completely forgot that the protagonist was a kid in the crowd when that happened. I forgot
It was in passing.
Established that.
It was in passing.
Yeah. So I say that to say, he doesn't have to be the king, but I think that's a really cool story idea.
Oh, I love it. Like either
maybe he can be the bad guy for the season
like
3.
Either a villain or
something.
When the caretaker exploded and all the shards scattered all through the land, and when the shards embedded into things, they became like these ancient wise things. Like one hit a tree, and now it's just like a wise old tree that you can go ask questions. And so now
I like that.
And so, yeah.
Or now the king's just an old man wandering in the wilderness, so imparting wisdom to people.
Or he's lost his mind, per se.
Because he sees so much.
He sees
That's it. That's how it is.
He's clairvoyant.
Past, the present, and the future, all in one, all tangled together.
Like he can't even
heads or tails.
He can't make heads or tails. Like, is he in the moment right now, or is he living 2 years in the future?
100 years in the future.
Is he walking the steps of somebody that is long dead, or walking in the steps of somebody that has yet to live?
No, he doesn't know.
He doesn't know. And so
Not anymore. He
you
sees too much.
you have it like at some point the protagonist, if we're separating, like the protagonist was a kid, like the memory that he's
Yeah.
memorizing um is like we can have the protagonist as a child as the king turns and looks down at the kid and talks to the kid, but he's talking to not the kid main character, but
He's
the
talking to him thousands of years in the future.
Yeah.
Oh my word. That's awesome.
He was like, I wanted you to see this.
That's so cool.
And he touches the kid's forehead and then it's like boom, he's back to the present.
That's unbelievable.
Oh,
And so now he has to go find that guy. Because theoretically, that guy knows where all the shards are.
that would make his goal so much easier. Like if he could find out where the shards are at. So now he has this.
It would be like sorry, go ahead.
No, keep going.
I was just gonna say because it's like that in a video game. You always have that one person that gives you the next mission,
The quest
or
giver.
whatever. Yeah, it's like him, kind of. Anyway, what are you saying?
No, I was gonna say, I was like, now he has a quest to find the guy. Then you
Yeah.
basically just put it right on the nose. He has a quest to find the quest giver.
Yeah, but at some point he's going to need that shard. But the guy knows he's going to need that shard, and the guy has seen him take the shard. The Seeing King. We'll call him the Seeing King.
The Seeing King. The Seeing King knows, but he doesn't know when. Like sometimes when the main character finds the Seeing King, he's like very aggressive. Is like, is this my time I die? Or is that later time?
The protagonist just doesn't know what he's talking about.
Nope. Doesn't know what he's talking about.
He's like, I don't know you, old man. He's like, no, but I know you.
No, I know you.
I was there. I was there.
Oh, not so. Here's something even crazier. Not only does the Seeing King have clairvoyance, he has middle knowledge. Let's say like he can see every possible future. Like he can even see a future where the main character dies and the shards never get reformed into the caretaker's body. Or
And he sees it all just burning.
just sees it burning, or he can't see past when his shard is the next shard that is needed. Like it's just his sight ends there, just deads right there. Cannot see any further. I mean, he can see the futures where his shard is never taken. But the futures that he follows when the shard is taken, it just dies. The one that's embedded in his chest. Like, and no longer does he have future sight.
And that's why he's insane. That's why he's crazy. Because he has so many different places and people and times and multiples in his head.
That would drive anybody crazy.
Them all straight. It would. It really would.
It's pretty crazy. Well, I think we need to come back to this story.
I think so too. I think we could definitely get a part 3 out of this.
Oh yeah,
this thing.
easy.
So the whole second season, I'll be trying to find the Wolf Queen's shard.
I mean, we'll have to. Yeah,
because that's the next one, and he can find shards that are for later on, but he can't put them in the puzzle yet.
Oh, now there's a bunch of shard hunters looking for the the protagonists.
Is the lead?
Yeah, like
the legend of the shard nest.
the legend of the shard nest,
where he just keeps all of his shards.
Yeah, so like the shard hunter is being hunted by all of the shard hunters.
Yeah, because they want to find. He probably has hundreds, maybe thousands of shards in there. that he's just
goodness.
waiting for the proper time to build. Probably not thousands, just hundreds.
I like it. I like it. All right. We'll pick this up next week. Or we'll talk about another idea and then come back to this in a future week.
Yeah, we'll come back to it. Season 3, baby.
Season 3. Love it.
All right, sponsors.
Sponsor time. We are sponsored by 2 awesome sponsors. One of them is a TTRPG. If you don't know what that is a tabletop role-playing game, which is basically like being the main character in your favorite book, and there's rules, and you roll dice to find out if you succeed or not, and you can make a character that can be good at things and bad at other things. There's always a sacrifice to be made. It's called Incredible Quest, and it is really, really cool. I'm currently working on the alpha version of it for Incredible Quest, but when it comes out, you will be the first to know. But they are currently sponsoring us, which is awesome.
Yes, and we have a second sponsor whose name is Nathan Wayne, and he is an author, and he has written a book called The Divided Kingdom of Sunland. Yes, 2 books. The other one's called The Chaotic Kingdom of Sunland. And if you couldn't tell, The Chaotic Kingdom of Sunland is a sequel to The Divided Kingdom.
I feel like it's way more chaotic.
Oh, yes, there certainly is. It's the title. So, it's on Amazon. Nathan Wayne, The Divided Kingdom of Sunland. It's about these 2 thieves who are recruited by the king to go to another kingdom and find, some stuff, steal some stuff, do some things. It's full of excitement and adventure and crazy moments where crazy things happen. Excitement, intrigue, and all sorts of other things. So give it a read, and yeah, he would appreciate that.
It's on Amazon. Love it. Sweet, sweet, sweet. All right, we'll come up with we'll do some more world building, world crafting.
Yes, we shall. So tune in next time.
Thank you.
Subscribe and all those other good things.
All right, thanks everybody for listening. See you guys next time. Bye.